I have just started doing a challenge with my, excuse me, my business coach. And I'm not talking about like a, 5 day, do this exercise for 5 minutes kind of challenge that just really eases you in. I'm talking about like a big challenge, one that pushes you to show up bigger than you ever have in your business before. And what I've realized about myself is I love a good challenge. And I actually think even if you don't think it applies to you, I think it's actually true for most of us because we are made for growth and growth requires challenge. I once heard someone say that growth is the central work of being human. And I really think that's true. Like, even in heaven, you'll never be done growing. A million years into eternity, it's still only going to be the beginning because God is infinite. There will always be more to learn of Him, more depths to plumb, more joy and love to experience, more of ourselves to discover in Him. So I think if we're made for that kind of eternal growth, it makes sense that on earth we would come alive in challenge, in the growth. You can stay in your comfort zone all day long, but you'll never feel as alive as when you kayak down a river or climb a mountain or walk through a really hard diagnosis or pregnancy, overcome a challenge, and make it to the other side. St. Irenaeus said, the glory of God is man fully alive. And I think we're never more fully alive than when we're in a challenge growing, than when we're triumphing over a cross, taking up our cross and following Christ. But here's the key. You have to engage with the challenge. You can't shut down from it, even when the challenge isn't one that you chose. Maybe it's pain or loss, waiting, uncertainty, you still have the choice to make it yours. You can't always remove the challenge, but you can decide who you're going to be in it. You can decide what kind of woman it's forming you into and just find little windows every day to be her now. That's what I've been practicing lately, and it's been changing everything. And I was contemplating like the etymology of the word challenge and I looked it up and I was just blown away. So originally it came from the same root as calumny. It meant a false accusation, trickery, deception. I want you to just think about that for a second. Every obstacle you face, every hard moment is a moment where the enemy tries to falsely accuse you. He's the accuser and the deceiver, and most of time we let him. So here are some examples. Your kid whines for the 100th time, and in your mind you hear, you're not a good mum, you're so impatient. Maybe you get to the end of another day without praying, and in your mind you hear, you're too weak, you'll never be consistent, you don't love God enough. Maybe you're single and waiting, or you're married and you're waiting for children, or you're in motherhood in the thick of it. And regardless, whichever scenario you're in, you're like, this is what I prayed for, or I'm in answered prayer. Why is it so hard? Why am I finding this so hard? So in all of these challenges, in every one of those moments, the accuser whispers to you, you're doing it wrong. You're disappointing God. You're not saint material. But what if every challenge is actually an invitation to challenge the lie, to challenge the accusation, to dispute it, to question the deceiver? What if that's the true meaning of challenge? So as language evolved, it came to mean like to question, to dare, to call to account, and even to invite to battle. So first, the false accusation arises in the challenge arrives, we get this false accusation, you're not capable, you're not good enough. And then the real challenge begins, and that's when you have the opportunity to choose to challenge it back, to fight back, to call it out, to question it, to fight it, to enter the spiritual battle. So that means that every challenge in your life is like a call to arms. It's a call to put on the helmet of faith, the shield of hope, to declare war against the lies, to declare war against complacency, against comfort, and to really do it as someone who already knows the ending of the story. Because in baptism, we know you received an indelible mark on your soul, a mark that like incorporates you into Christ's victory. He's already won. So when the challenge arrives, you're not fighting for victory, you're fighting from victory. You bring that, like you have the ability to bring that identity, being more than a conqueror in Christ, to every moment. That is how saints are made. That is how you steward your time like a saint. St. Joan of Arc said, one of my favorite quotes, every battle is first won or lost in the mind. If you've been around for a bit, you've probably heard me say that. Every battle is first won or lost in the mind. Here's what I find people struggle with. This battlefield is invisible. It's not in your calendar, it's not in your to-do list, it's not in your routines or your systems. It's in your inner world, in your thoughts, your desires, your decisions, and your fears. And most people are fighting the wrong war, or they're fighting it like with their eyes closed. You're like rearranging your schedule, you're like perfecting your routine, when really what's needed is to like reclaim territory in your soul and to like stop trying to fight it with your eyes closed. And that is where coaching comes in. Coaching makes the invisible battlefield for your time visible. We bring it out onto paper or into words, just into the light. And I give you like a roadmap to know where to look so you can really finally see what's actually happening and win the right battle, to fight the right battle. And it helps you to see your like the full terrain, the weapons you have available to you, and your role in it, so you can actually fight with confidence and peace and certainty in who is with you and who is really fighting the battle for you. So I created my Fiat method that I teach my clients in coaching. We make 4 areas of your inner world visible. So you just always know exactly where to look. So we look at your brain, your thoughts. I teach my clients to uncover and then challenge their habitual lies and replace them with truth. We look at your desires, what you want and what you feel like. I help my clients to feel like doing the things they actually want to do long term and to feel less like doing the things that keep them stuck. That is possible. Your decisions, we like clear the fog around indecision so you can choose with clarity and confidence. And then finally, your fear of failure. Many of our fears are hidden and sneaky. So I teach women to make their fears visible, which makes them manageable. And there's even like a lot of holiness available here, because if there's no, think about this, if there is no fear you're unwilling to face, and there's no failure you're unwilling to have or to experience, then there's no action you're unwilling to take. And that means that there's just nothing that God could ask of you that you wouldn't say yes to very quickly. Like if there's no hesitation, no fear you're unwilling to face, there's no hesitation or very little hesitation. Like think about how powerful it is to have the ability to work through that, to bring it to the surface, to be able to see it and navigate it and move through it. So when you master these 4 areas and you have clarity in these 4 areas and you know how to navigate them, your thoughts, your desires, your decisions, and your fears, and fear of failure, you become unstoppable. Like really, you become a force of nature. And I think you even become like intimidating to the devil. Like you get out of bed and he's like, oh no, she's awake. Here we go. So what I want to tell you is next month, yes, in December, my husband and I are going to Tasmania for our 10th wedding anniversary. So I'm taking most of December off. So I won't be taking any consultations that month. So what I want you to hear is, if this message resonates with you, if something in you is saying, yes, I want to be that woman who overcomes challenges instead of being overcome by them, that would be amazing. Then you want to book your consultation now. You want to do it this month because, I mean, firstly, you won't get to do it then until next year sometime. But also, the longer you wait between deciding I want something and acting on it, the more time your brain has to talk you out of it. So this really, your first opportunity to overcome a challenge might be literally the act of booking the call. Your brain might like come up with the accuser might be saying like you don't have time or um it'll be too uncomfortable to talk about your problems and be that vulnerable, to share all of those things, like you're not really capable of that, or you don't follow through, you won't be able to do it, you won't be able to succeed, it won't work for you, just all of that. This is your first opportunity to challenge your brain, to challenge the enemy, just talking away at you. Don't let your brain be the challenger. You be the challenger. You get to be the one in charge. And if you want to start becoming that woman, that version of you, the one who triumphs, you can start today. You're going to have challenges today, tomorrow, the next day, your whole life. So let's start today to make you the woman who overcomes them all. The glory of God is you fully alive. And so, like, this work that I've talked about right here, that is how you become fully alive. Let's go.